Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger, episode 6, I believe this is. This is 6. Let's just say it's 6, because I think, because even numbers, because after this I'm going to start waiting for them to be 2 episodes. But I wanted to review this one because it was the debut of 5 nights. This is 3 nights, because Mill Needle just shipped and I don't have it, and even if I did, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was probably too lazy to put it together just to have him sit over here and not be Ace. I mean, wow, what a slacker. Way to not even be Ace. So this episode I felt was pretty solid. In a way, it was kind of like the conclusion to the first, arc of the series. And I have some thoughts about that because I think that it's kind of cool, but it could have been a little bit better. Basically, the way they make it seem, / the way they set it up, was that this little mini arc here for this first 6 episodes was kind of about, obviously introducing us to everyone, getting to 5 nights, and then getting revenge for killing the Masters. But I feel they could have done a little bit better. I talked about early on, I think in the first episode, that's way early on, because that's literally the first video of these, that I wish they would have kept the Masters around just for a little bit, because I think it was wasted character potential just for the characters themselves of the Masters, but also for our characters. If it was me, I would have kept the Masters on for 3 to 5 episodes, and then kind of use the current Rangers training as the vehicle for introducing us to everything. So you kind of have the Masters sitting back and being like, okay, learn how to use this, now go take it out and do a mission. And then you kill them around episode 5, and then that way, I feel there's a little bit more of an emotional weight. We are a little bit more invested. I think that was my problem with this, is that I didn't feel that invested because everything happened so quickly. That while I thought it was kind of nice that we surprisingly wrapped this up soon, it seemed kind of fast, but it was kind of a nice surprise that it wasn't this dude was going to be their main rival for either the whole series or until the late 20s or something. Or what Lupin Ranger did, but that was kind of different. Interesting point about that in a second too. But I think that I just would have liked to seen it breathe a little bit more, because while I liked the idea of it, I think that there could have been a little more time spent on it to sort of give more weight to it. But then again, like I said, speaking of Lupin Ranger, I was on board on a certain emotional level with the Lupin Rangers in episode 1. I think it just has to do with the presentation, and I just feel that it lacked a little bit of heart here with that. And I kind of wish they had given it a little bit more focus too, because it felt like we did setup, and then we did a little bit Fillerville, and then in this last episode or 2, we now kind of honed in on it. But I wish they would have stayed a little bit more focused on that goal, instead of kind of it being a weird mix of being focused on avenging the Masters, but also doing filler. I don't know, I felt it could have been a little bit better, a little bit tweaked. But I still like the idea of it. I think it makes it a little bit unexpected that you introduce someone oh, this is the big bad, but then they already defeated him and now we're going to move on to something else. I'm interested to see how that plays out next week, because obviously we're going to be entering this new character in a little bit, not a new era, that's way over dramatic for 5 episodes, 6 episodes, but you know what I mean. A new section of plot. But it also looks like a filler, so I'm curious to see. Given Ryusoulger's track record so far, it totally seems like it'll probably be a filler. That seems really contradictory. Don't bother Luke. I don't know how clearly I could possibly make it. Then again, there was a series like Kishiryu where you'd see a preview and be oh, next week's a filler, and then it would be a major episode. So I don't know. I am interested to see where they go from here. They did have a little bit of interesting conflict with everybody started getting sick because the Minosaur they thought they'd done blew up last week had a twin. Twins, Basil, twins! So there was a moment where Yuso Black's okay, well I'm just gonna kill this bench because it'll just solve everything, and they're no, you can't do it, So I like that there was a little bit of conflict there. I think it'll be interesting if they continued to have that, not all throughout the series, but if they bring it back later, if there's another kind of impossible situation. It would be much more of a impossible task if they simply couldn't blow up the Ryusoulgers, they couldn't blow up the Minosaurs, kind of like how in Geo they couldn't destroy another rider unless they had the Ride Watch, or the rider power, if there was some sort of block like that. But as of right now, it was there is a more feasible way to destroy this guy. And they did need, or destroy him, but they also needed a tissue from him, or a fang, to create an antidote. And they found that elder guy from their village who's now working at a food truck, and he whipped up a urine antidote, so they fixed that. They all work together, and then we do the 5 nights combo. Now, I might be wrong, maybe I missed it, and maybe they did it really quickly and I'm just forgetting it, but when they were doing the 5 nights attack, they, showed a little after image of all of the individual formations for each Ranger's key. And have we done pink and blues yet? I feel like we have, because I've had the toy for so long now, but I feel like we haven't done pink and blues helmets yet. Maybe I'm just wrong. But here's the thing with 5 nights. I think it looks fine. I really think that the shield with the T-Rex head on it's pretty awesome. But I'm not too huge on it for a couple reasons. One, I wish it had a different helmet to differentiate it. Because like as of right now, we have this helmet for KishiryuOh, just regular T-Rex, and then for 3 Knights. And then now it's also the same for 5 Knights. So I wish it, especially for this, since it's like the big formation of all 5 Rangers, I wish it had a different key or a helmet, even like a little something. Like there's no pegs in here, so just speaking toy-wise. But you know, sometimes they'll have the ones where you put like a helmet in front of this, in front of the main one. I wish it stood out like that. And also in this season, where you have this infinite customizable options that's way advertised and it's like one of the big selling points, how do we have a 5 combiner mecha that's still leaving off pieces? Like there's still going to be leftover bits when you have the toy, and that bothers me, especially for this, because it's not like it's a 12 mecha formation where it's like, okay, well there's a lot going on, so there's going to be leftovers. It's only 5! That's the way it's been since the beginning of time. It also appears that like Green and Black aren't fully on board with the team yet. Like Green basically likes them and is like kind of like the embarrassed parent, like, oh sorry, or the embarrassed parent's like sorry about him, he just doesn't get along with others. I'm kind of mixed on that, because on one hand I kind of like that because it at least creates some potentially interesting conflict and a little bit of because I feel like Ryusoulger really quickly got to the status quo on a lot of things, so I'm kind of surprised they're not having them all be together. So on one hand I kind of like that because it gives us a little more to work with, but on the other hand they're just so rushy on everything else. The fact that we're already at 5 Knights even though they're not working together, I feel like, what's the point? Just have them work together then, because just based the way they're doing it. So I'm kind of 2 minds on that. And like at the preview, we saw 5 Knights again. Like obviously it's a different kind of situation in terms of the combo, but I liked in Loot Pat how they used Good Cool Kaiser very sparingly, so that they didn't have to have like this weird narrative where it's like, oh, there are these 2 teams versing, but they're gonna get along for this exact moment because we want to sell toys. In this case, it feels like, well, we're not having them work together yet, but we have to sell toys, so we have to show the formation off. So, I don't know, I'll be interested to see where that goes. Overall, though, I thought this was a pretty solid and enjoyable episode. I'd probably give it a 7.5. I just wish that they had just done a little bit more, just some tweaking throughout these episodes to make this arc feel like more of a emotional payoff. I know it's kind of hard to do that when you're so short in, but I think that it would have been beneficial to take your time in a little bit. But I'm at least curious to see where they go next. And like I said, after this, next week, until we get like a special event, like when Ryusoul Gold debuts, I'm going to be doubling up and reviewing 2 episodes together, just because there's, you know, it's a lot easier to come out with stuff to say when you have 2 episodes to talk about and more time to sit on them, since Ryusoulger's been kind of light on like topics to talk about. So yeah, until Gold it'll be about 2 episodes unless I change my mind. I have a permit, I can do what I like. Anyway, until next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to notifications for all my videos. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out. Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kishiryu Rentai. Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. Yes, got it right. Wait, I messed it up by saying that. Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. Got it right. I did it again. Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. Episode... God.